It's a rainy night here in Nashville, Tennessee, the site for the Music City Bowl and for our final quarterfinals matchup of the night between the Oregon Ducks and the Alabama Crimson Tide. I'm David Roy, and in the booth with me, as always, is the commissioner of the CFSL, Mike Peters. And Mike, both teams made the playoffs last season, but between these two, Alabama made it to the semifinals. Oregon got knocked out by the Auburn Tigers in that opening round. What do you expect tonight?
I'm not quite sure. I think both of these teams want to get a win. They both come in with not necessarily the type of season they had last year. They're both 3-4 coming in. Didn't get to play their last game of the regular season due to some of the events that unfolded. And I think they both want to win. They both want to finish the season strong, and they both want to play another game.
Oregon going to start with the ball, and they'll give it to Jimmy Tickle, but it is blown up by Jackson Addock and Tyson Kane-Blade for a loss of 3.
You know what it is? I think it's the shoes, and I know I 100% ordered the white shoes for Oregon, but apparently they didn't come in, and they put them in black, so don't blame me if they lose some traction out there.
Draw play here, Jimmy Tickle trying to get the yardage back that he lost, but he'll only get 1 out of that carry. 3rd and 12 upcoming.
Well, this is a recurring theme tonight. A lot of running backs that didn't necessarily do what their team suspected. These two tonight, Farrell Norman, Jimmy Tickle, barely over 500 yards each of them. They'd like big games out of them.
Halfback screen, and Jimmy Tickle gets 11 yards, but he needed 12, fighting for that last yard, but he'll come up short. And a 3-and-out for the Ducks.
Well, the argument can be made that Tickle's the best offensive player for this team, so you want to get him involved. They go to him 3 times in a row. Might have been 1 too many. Obviously did well on that last play, but you got to spread the ball around in this offense.
Out comes this Alabama offense as Lamar Fant going to set them up with decent field position, led by quarterback Bailey on Siege. 1,764 passing yards on the season, 9 touchdowns, 7 picks. He complements that game with 647 rushing yards and 5 rushing touchdowns. That pass over the middle for Akamu Lee, the 3-star receiver, and a gain of 18.
Well, Siege is one of those guys, maybe more known for his legs. 2 seasons, hasn't really been a prolific passer, has been a really good runner. He and Joe Pantoja last season were kind of like the Dowdy Dow and Scott Fountain of this season. However, season 7 found Alabama struggle a little bit on offense, but they got an opportunity to put together a really good game and take a win and advance in the playoffs.
Houston Freeman, otherwise known as Big Country, the tight end in motion, and Siege looks to throw, and it's a fumble, and it is picked up by the Oregon Ducks back to the 30 because of the backwards pass by Siege, and Oregon, what a turnover.
Well, Big Country treated that one like it was a greased pig and didn't fall on top of it, let it go. Puda Mortensen jumps on top of it, and not a good start there if you're Alabama as they turn the ball over, and Oregon with an opportunity here for the early lead.
First drive ended in a 3-and-out, but their second drive, the Ducks hoped for better as walk-on Jonathan Bell gets 4 yards.
Well, I guess if you're going to go to Bell, start it early. I always hate when they do it on like 3rd and 7, which we saw in the first game, but get them going early, make the defense think about it, and then it opens up some things for you.
2nd down and 6, ball spotted at the Alabama 25-yard line. Richardson in the gun, play fake. Dancing right, throwing right, that pass incomplete in traffic.
Well, there you see Captain Equipment Closet, Tyson Kane-Blade sitting there looking on. He is going to be an important part of this defense.
3rd and 6, halfback screen. Richardson has to throw it away, and we saw that a few times in the first game.
We did. It's just good defense. They covered up everything that they wanted, so he had no idea or nowhere else to go but just throw it away. So now we see just in case come on for the field goal.
Be a 42-yarder, and just in case misses.
Well, he was not in the nick of time. I don't know where I came up with that from, but he pushes it too far. Not a lot of wind tonight, but it is raining. Can make the holds a little bit more difficult. Hard to get great contact on the ball. Case misses, and Alabama with another opportunity here.
Play fake Siege wanted Houston Freeman on the corner, but puts it too far out in front.
Well, we see that a lot in these games. The first game had a little bit more wind. This one's got some rain. And, it's playing a little bit of havoc out there, and the guys that can adapt to it the best are going to be the teams that win.
Siege dancing to his right, going to take off and run, and then he will turn upfield and slide, trying to get away from Jack Ross. He'll get 2.
Yeah, the little guy didn't want anything to do with the defense there, and so he picks up a few. Now we'll see what they can do on 3rd and 8. Not a good spot for them to be in, although they were decently productive on 3rd downs this year.
Siege over the middle. There's Zach Strickland over the middle for the first down.
Yeah, nice pass over the middle. They go with the little slant route. He's open, gets the first down. Now you got to look at something on the outside. I think you need to use the read option, but I think you also got to get your outside receivers involved to kind of spread out the defense a little bit.
Out of the pistol. Siege calling for Freeman to go in motion. Siege, quick check down the walk-on, a stiff arm to get him across midfield. It's a gain of 9 for Trey Pittman.
One thing that I think Alabama needs to do is they need to go with more spread sets and try to stretch out this defense. You let them sit in that 3-4, it's going to make it harder to run your running game against them. If you can get them out of that 3-4, you're going to open up some options for the run game.
An option keeper, Siege able to get out of trouble with Griffin Richardson and then gets back to the line of scrimmage before Puna Mortensen, who had the fumble recovery on the previous drive, can stop him.
Well, there they were sitting in that 3-4. Now they got him in a 3-3-5. Well, they got a safety playing down in the box up on the bunch side on top.
3rd and 1, Siege pumps left. Throwing short to the right side of that pass. Complete to Barron Adams for a gain of 11.
Well, they overloaded that side with 3 receivers, and they run a combination of routes there that keeps Barron Adams, open underneath and gets the first down. Now they're running a bunch to the bottom.
Can split out Houston Freeman wide to that side. Play fake. Siege trips over his offensive line, breaks a tackle, running for the first down. He'll get 7 yards and met by Mortensen.
Well, I know Mortensen is one of those guys that a lot of guys are keeping an eye on. He had a 9.5 over/under in the sportsbook, 10-1 odds if he gets 10 tackles or more tonight.
Siege to throw with a blitz in his face, and he finds Houston Freeman on the out route, and he'll turn upfield to get 18.
So in the sportsbook, another interesting note, Oregon on the standard line was a 2.5-point underdog to Alabama, but 41,000 was wagered on Oregon minus 6.5. They bought that down. They laid extra points to go from plus 2.5 to minus 6.5. They think Oregon's going to win by 7. It's an interesting thing to keep an eye on in this game, David.
Siege over the middle. There's Zukamu Lee picking up 9, getting down inside to the 5. And you talk about Oregon being favored to win by 7, but Alabama looking for the first 7 of the game.
Yeah, well, they also bet the high over at 69.5. They think there's going to be a lot of scoring in this game. I don't know if they looked at the weather report.
Farrell Norman outside to the right, a stiff arm for the first down, but it's 1st and goal to go.
Well, big opportunity here for the Crimson Tide. They fumbled it on their first drive, didn't turn it over, but they held them from getting any points. Now they got an opportunity to take the lead. Could be big here.
And off of the jet sweep, Akamu Lee gets a yard before he is stopped.
That's actually one of my favorite plays down inside the 10 because you don't know if they're using them as a decoy, if they're going to run a dive behind it, and you can get around that corner. You don't have a lot of yard to make up, but Oregon played it well.
Great option keeper, Siege trying to cut inside, can't get the first touchdown of the game. Kai Brummer to stop him.
Well, we thought this was a good spot for Alabama, but Oregon's defense is really standing up here and putting up a fight. They don't want to let Bama get into the end zone.
Siege to throw. 3rd and goal, going to take off and run. Touchdown, Alabama.
Well, they finally got it in there, and a good job by Alabama not only to rebound from the turnover on the first drive, but to march down the field, found some adversity down inside the 5, but they stayed with it. They got the touchdown, and they got the lead here.
13-play scoring drive for the Alabama Crimson Tide. They get that early 7-point lead, and Oregon looking to come up with an answer on their 3rd drive of the night.
Now, we'll see what they could do. Alabama's defense is playing pretty well. Oregon, typically known for an explosive offense, struggled this year. They're only 12th in offense. Can they find some of that magic they've had the last few seasons?
Bugsy Bates got lit up by Lamar Fan on that kick return. And look at this Alabama defense. They've only given up 13 yards. But, Mike, one player on this defense who I expected having a bigger season given the Army-Navy game, would be Jeremy Mosley, but he's only got 26 tackles, been overshadowed by Tyson Kane-Blade, who makes the tackle there.
Well, a lot of the defensive, being able to make an impact on the defense is who you're surrounded by. And you got two really good defensive ends on this line. You got Tyson Kane-Blade. You got Zachary Carter and Lamar Fant back there as well. Thomas Cole, you can't forget about him. Just a lot of guys out there scrounging for tackles. And Jeremy Mosley so far has been the last one to the bowl.
Pass on the curl route to the left side with the walk-on Matt Burgess there to bat it away. 3rd and 9 upcoming.
Right now, Oregon's struggling offensively, and this has kind of played into their 2-3 Big Ten record this season. They got to start figuring things out here quick.
Halfback screen right side, and Jimmy Tickle gets corralled very quickly after getting a yard.
Not the most impressive drive there for Oregon. Alabama's defense does a good job of locking them down there. Now we'll see if Alabama can move the ball down the field again and add to this lead.
Thomas Cole, the one to make the stop and force Oregon to punt, and that makes it 3 straight drives where the Ducks have had 3 plays on each drive, and then they have to give possession back to Alabama.
Yeah, they really got to get a little bit more creative offensively and start moving the ball down the field. If they want to hang in this game, Alabama hasn't been the most prolific offensively, but you got to score to win.
And Siege able to get out of trouble and out of the pocket for 7 yards on the quarterback scramble. 2nd down and 3, and not a lot of action for Farrell Norman yet tonight.
No, and that's kind of been the story all season. Only 509 yards, 4.1 yards per carry. Does have 8 touchdowns, though.
Pass dropped on the outside by Zach Strickland. 3rd and 3 now for the Crimson Tide.
Well, David, I'll tell you, that's not going to be the last drop we see. Again, the rain's coming down at a decent amount right now, and it does make things more difficult in the passing game.
So Siege is going to rely on his legs to churn out yards and first downs as he scrambles for 7 yards.
I think that's good for Alabama. If Siege can get going, he's been one of the more prolific running quarterbacks in this league. They just haven't necessarily found out how to get him and Norman going like they did last season with Pantoja.
Alabama offense tried to have some motion, but too much motion up front, and that leads to the false start penalty and a loss of 5. First and 15 for Alabama. 4 wide, trips bomb the screen. Siege throwing short. There's Strickland, breaks 1 tackle and gets down inside the 40.
Well, Strickland makes up for the drop, comes back over the middle, and gets a decent little game after the penalty. Now they just got to keep moving the ball. I wouldn't mind seeing a read option here.
2nd and 7, Siege to throw against a 3-man rush. Goes short to the big tight end, Houston Freeman. He'll get 3, and it took 3 of the white jerseys to bring him down.
Well, I don't love the short pass there, but like you said, it took 3 guys to get him down, so that says how much that this Oregon defense respects number 45.
Houston Freeman, the tight end in motion here from right to left. Siege to throw. Blitz coming. Goes short for Houston Freeman, but he wasn't ready for it, much like he wasn't ready for it on the backwards pass on their first drive.
Yeah, I think that was a mistake on Freeman's part. I think Siege hit him where he needed to. Freeman wasn't quite ready for it yet for whatever reason. Some miscommunication there, stalls out the Alabama drive, and now Oregon's going to go back to work. They really got to try to put something together here.
That punt, we'll see where they mark it. I think it went into the end zone, but it'd be interesting if they call it out at the 1.
I think it went into the end zone too, but we saw a touchdown that shouldn't have been in the first game, so you never know.
So it did go through, and it is a touchback. So the ball comes out to the 20. Alabama, a 7-point lead. There's 7 seconds remaining in the quarter, and Axton Richardson looking to get a first down for the first time tonight, and under pressure, his pass will fall incomplete.
Well, Alabama's defense doing a good job not only playing coverage in the backfield, getting pressure up front, not giving Axton Richardson a lot of time to find open receivers.
Last play of the quarter, empty backfield. Richardson, blitz coming, has to take off and run, and he is tracked down for a loss of 4, and that is how we end the first quarter. Alabama out in front by 7. You're watching the CFSL on PX1 Sports on YouTube Live for the quarterfinals. Start of the second quarter, and it's 3rd down. Axton Richardson in the gun. Looking to throw, taking a shot to the left sideline. And D. Frost picks up 36 and gets across midfield.
Well, this is something we didn't see a whole lot in the first game. They get to cover 2 there. The safety's late coming over, and they hit Frost for the nice play. Got to see that more, especially Oregon. With a receiver out there like D. Frost, they also got Bugsy Bates. They got to beat this secondary that has 2 walk-on corners. They did it there. Can they do it more often?
It's their first down of the night for Oregon's offense as Richardson comes back over the middle for Bates to get 7.
Well, they go deep, and now they come back over the middle. I'd like to see them try to go back to the running game a little bit, use a little bit of read option, run Jimmy Tickle up the middle, try to get this defense playing up and beat them over the top.
It's King of the tight end in motion. Richardson pumps right, steps up in the pocket. He wants it all. And that pass left short for Zachary Carter to bat it down.
Yeah, he tried to pump fake on the outside, then he tried to go deep, and he just leaves it short. Almost got that picked. You know, he's a little bit fortunate to get away with that one.
3rd and 3, Richardson to throw. Goes short left side. There's Bates again, this time for 9 yards.
I wonder what a guy like Bugsy Bates thinks when this big Tyson Kane blade is over there covering him.
Probably why he's wearing so much equipment, whether or not it slows him down. Coming in motion is Bugsy Bates. Play fake, quick throw, and a dropped pass for his intended target. I believe that was a walk-on.
I love that play. You bring the receiver on the outside. You're trying to get the defense to bite to the left. You throw the outlet pass out of the backfield. Unfortunately, they didn't convert on it. Otherwise, it could have been a nice play.
Play fake. Richardson dancing in the pocket. Got to tuck it and run. And he'll lower the shoulder to get down to the 26.
Well, your boy Mosley was in there on a tackle trying to do what he can to contribute to this defense, which has played really well so far in this first half.
The second tackle of the night at that. Richardson out of the pistol here. Steps up in the pocket, dumps it out in the flats, left side, and the walk-on at fullback, Morris Todd. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. Jeremy Mosley stepping up tonight.
And now we're going to see if Justin Case can recover from his first miss and hit this 44-yarder.
His miss earlier was from 42 yards away, so this one a little bit longer, and he nails it from 44 yards out.
Oregon's on the board, still not looking the most efficient that we've seen, but they did it. Ooh, he barely got that one in there, too. Still not looking the most efficient, but they at least got some points on the board, builds a little bit of confidence. Now they need their defense to come up and get a stop.
Took them up until their 4th drive of the night to finally find a way to get points on the board. They would have had it on their 2nd drive, but Case missed a 42-yard field goal. Even if he had made it, Oregon would still be trailing, but it would be by 1 as opposed to 4. Bailey on Siege had the touchdown earlier. Here he's going to give it to Farrell Norman, who finds a crease, but he lost the ball. And Siege comes in to the rescue.
Well, you got to wonder if the Alabama head coach Joe Pantoja is on the sideline pulling his hair out after all these fumbles.
It'd be interesting to say whether or not this was actually a fumble. It looks pretty close.
I don't think it's going to change much either way.
Right.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field is reversed.
So it's not a fumble, which, as pointed out, doesn't make much of a difference. Still an 11-yard run. And Siege here to throw on 1st down 10, trying to scramble, able to bounce around and find his crease to get 2 before the Ducks can bring him down.
Well, not much running room there, so he gets what he can. Alabama got a lot of options here still at 2nd. They're going to go I for him. We haven't seen this for a while.
And off. Farrell Norman able to get a couple as well, and it's only his 3rd carry of the night, but he's got 14 yards, 3rd and 6.
Well, that looked like a WWE move. Bryson Gallo and the other player couldn't tell who it was, like they were going to pick him up and like pile drive him or something. They weren't letting Farrell Norman get anywhere.
Siege takes a shot to the right side. There's Houston Freeman for the 1st down.
Well, Freeman gets in there, nice little corner route there, which you and Matt love. And he's there, fires a dart out there, comes up with the easy catch. I think they had to get Freeman more involved. They're doing pretty well right now. I think Freeman can really be a difference maker in this game.
And to be fair, Mike, you love the corner route too, because it was you who coined the saying, when in doubt, corner route.
And that doesn't mean that I love it. It just means that's what people do.
Earl Norman up the middle for 4 yards, his 4th carry of the night, and 2nd down and 6 for an Alabama offense that is rolling.
I love that Juby's girlfriend is now calling him Neil.
Siege to throw, taking a shot, jump ball incomplete.
Big opportunity there. I think that was Barron Adams, but he wasn't able to haul that one in. Had an opportunity to win the one-on-one there, wasn't able to bring it down, so now they got a 3rd down.
Siege in the gun, 2-by-2 look for the offense. Trying to take off a run, able to avoid 1 sack, but he's still going to lose yardage, and then lost the ball, where his offensive tackle was able to recover it.
This is something, I don't know if we can even figure this out in the offseason, but we need to figure out what the most fumbles in a half is, because 3 has got to be approaching it. This is crazy. Alabama's still winning this game, but Oregon doing everything they can to cause a turnover.
So the Crimson Tide forced to punt it away, and Mike, much like the first game tonight, the defenses have come on strong.
Well, and we had this score for a little while in the first game, 7-3 USC. USC winds up winning it. They'll move on to the semifinals. We'll see what the matchups will be depending on what happens in this game, but very defensive in the playoffs.
And off Jimmy Tickle, able to burst through to get 13 yards.
Yeah, I noticed in the sports book, like nobody's betting on the 50-50 lines anymore. Like the regular over/under at 62.5, nobody bet on that. They all loaded up on the 69.5.
Play fake, Richardson middle. There's Bates. He gets 7 yards. So it took them a little bit, but this offense is finally generating some production, generating first downs and yards.
Well, they got to do it consistently. You got to do it all the way down the field. They had a nice pass, the Frost, on the last drive, but they weren't able to do much with it.
Speed option, the pitch, Jimmy Tickle in a foot race, trying to get the edge, and he'll get 12 yards, was looking for more as he gets out to the 49.
I wonder what it's like being in one of those mascot costumes with it raining like that. You gotta feel like a wet dog in there.
Yeah, I don't think it's comfortable. Read option keeper Richardson able to get to the midfield stripe, but nothing more.
Yeah, that's why Heavenly says like the stream. Be sure to like the video, subscribe if you haven't already. Turn on the little bell notification so you can get notified every time we go live, as we'll be having the entirety of the playoffs here on YouTube.
Bates gets lit up as Jeremy Mosley got the entirety of Bates on that hit.
Man, there's so many ways I could go with that would not be appropriate. I'm just going to leave it go. Yeah, it just I was thinking of our conversation before the game, and then getting the entirety of it, and
Richardson able to take advantage of the defense and drops a dime in for Bates there. A big chunk play for the Oregon offense.
Well, it's good press coverage there by the walk-on John Carey out there. He knocked Bates off of his route, but he does a good job of recovering, and Richardson finds him for the first down.
Down to the Alabama 31. 3 minutes of play here in this opening half. Pistol set. Defrost coming in motion. They'll use him on the triple option as they give it to Tickle right up the middle for 7.
Well, I like to see them going to Tickle. He hasn't. Tickle doesn't like seeing Zachary Carter up the middle. He's looking around, trying to watch it on the scoreboard, say, where did that truck come from? But Tickle, he's a big part. He's been a huge part of when this team's been successful. I think it's important that they find a rhythm with him tonight.
Midline read, Axon Richardson, the big quarterback, getting it down to the 16-yard line. A gain of 8 for him on the run.
Well, you got to wonder if Oregon's going to eventually fumble the ball. Is it the rain causing that, or is it just a lack of concentration by Alabama with all the fumbles we've seen?
Interesting to keep an eye on as they go draw play, and Jimmy Tickle able to maintain control of that one, even though he lost a yard thanks to Richard Brandley.
Well, you can't run Tickle on these little soft draws. You got to ram him right up the middle.
I'm not leaving that one alone. The gun trips on the screen. Richardson throwing short. Looked like he wanted to pump fake. Instead, he finally finds Bugsy Bates to get 6.
Well, we got a 3rd and 5 here. They're inside the 20. The defense doesn't have as much area to cover, but you don't have a long way to go. I think you might have a corner route at the top of the screen.
Pistol. Richardson steps up into the pocket, checks it down to the right side, and the Milwaukee Morris Tom gets 3, needed 5 to move the sticks.
Well, he ran a slant underneath, and Alabama just a good job of covering up the release out of the backfield and shut it down. So we'll see. Can Justin Case knock home another one?
This one much shorter. His shortest field goal that he has attempted tonight. This one from 25 yards away. But a flag is thrown, so that might change things. Going to back it up 5 yards, and so instead of a 25-yarder, it's a 30-yarder. The right hash, Justin Case, puts it through to make it a 1-point game with 1:16 to play in the half.
Well, despite Oregon's struggles on offense and having to kick 3 field goals, only 2 of which they've made, they're still only down by 1. So their defense has done a good job of keeping them in there. Really, all they need to do, if they get a quick 3 and out here, they could get the ball back and even take the lead.
This return by Baron Adams. Want to take this time to give a shout out to everybody in the live chat. Dorian Cope, Don Mattingly, SYN Heavenly, Squiddy, Neil, Austin, Georgia fan, Ollie Peters, Tom Pence, Juby, Devin Davis. Anybody else I might have missed?
Mike Lewis.
Do apologize. I see Mike Lewis in there as well. Siege thrown to the left side. Houston Freeman gets 5 and a timeout called by the Crimson Tide.
Well, they got the first one. If they come up with another one here, it'd be interesting to see what Alabama does. If they try to run it out, or they still try to get the first.
So set, trips bunch to the right, Siege to throw. Gonna turn around and try to get out of the pocket, which he will, and get the first down as Kai Brummer stops him just after.
Well, they got the first down. You see by the yards per carry, 1.4. Siege not able to do a whole lot running the ball, so good job by the Oregon defense. Time's running here. Alabama's not taking the timeout. Be interesting to see what they dial up here.
Down inside, a minute to play here in the second. Siege to throw. Gonna take off and run again into the spy, and he'll get half the distance for the first down. It's a gain of 5.
Well, if you're Alabama and you're noticing that they're spying them, they're not letting anything happen, you got to try to attack them deep and spread them out.
By Tuluk, Siege to throw. 3-man rush. Here he goes again for the first down.
Well, Siege is channeling his inner Blake Moon here and trying to put this drive on his back and seeing if he can get him in the end zone himself. Siege
goes underneath. There's Houston Freeman stepping out of bounds after a gain of 7 to preserve that final timeout.
So Ali asks, do you have to like every video? So basically the way the YouTube algorithm works too, the way I understand it, each video is its own entity. And the more likes that an individual video gets, the more it helps it up in the rankings. Other things play into it, like amount of views and how long the average video is. But likes, definitely, comments and likes both help with the algorithm of getting it played in front of more people.
Views will also play into a role on that, as all 40 of you who are joining us here tonight, and we appreciate you doing so, saw Baron Adams pick up 32 yards. And now Siege going back to the right sideline for Freeman to get 3.
With that being said, don't go and just like every video we've ever posted, because then that might get us in trouble. Just like the ones that you're watching, if you like them.
Siege going to give it. Farrell Norman with an alley to run through. He'll get 6. It's 3rd and 1.
Well, interesting here. They can just run it right up the middle. They could even go for it on 4th down. An interesting spot here for Alabama.
Siege to throw. Going to take off and run outside to the right. Touchdown, Alabama.
Well, of course, Siege took off and run there. What else would he do? He kind of did that the whole drive down. And Alabama has an excellent job of converting there to get the touchdown and extend their lead right before the half.
Leon Siege with his 2nd rushing touchdown of the night, and it's now an 8-point lead for the Alabama Crimson Tide. And Oregon either going to need a big kick return or a Hail Mary just to put points on the board.
Oh, don't remind Alabama of Hail Marys.
Alabama lost to Clemson during the regular season on a Hail Mary. As this return by Kai Brummer, not going to be that, or but excuse me, Bugsy Bates, going to be a 21-yard return, and I think Oregon, they would be content to just kneel it and go to half.
Maybe, but if they air it out here, that would be a heck of a trick. I think they're going to run it with Tickle, though.
Pistol set, 2 tight ends on the field. They will indeed give it to Jimmy Tickle, who runs right up the middle, gets laid out. Got really popped there by Zachary Carter.
That'll bring up 2nd and 3.
Well, they did a good job. They're not letting them break free. I think Oregon is okay. They're down by 8. They haven't really been functioning really well offensively. They don't want to turn it over. They don't want to, get sacked and a fumble or something like that. So they're going to play a little conservative, go in the offense or go into the halftime, see what they can turn around.
As we head into the half, Oregon trailing by 8 and unable to come up with the points, or at least any touchdowns, I should say, in that first half. And the problem, Mike, for them is that Alabama gets the ball to start the second half.
Well, they do, but as we've seen, neither one of these offenses have been super prolific. So Oregon, easier said than done, can get a stop on that first drive, get the ball back. Even a field goal helps. It's just all about chipping away. You're right in it. No time to panic. Not until the fourth quarter, maybe even late in the fourth quarter before you panic. They're in an okay spot right now, I think. Both of these defenses are playing well. This very may well come down to the last drive, or maybe which defense creates the most turnovers right now. Oregon's forced 3 fumbles, but only come up with 1 of them.
And you look at the Alabama offense, really in control, not necessarily in yards. They seem fairly similar outside of passing, but time of possession, almost 3 minutes is the difference.
Yeah, it's been, it's kind of like the first game in some ways, right? That's kind of what we saw USC do in the first game to Florida State. Alabama's kind of doing it here. Florida State wasn't really good on offense, couldn't really get things going. It's very similar to Oregon right now. I don't think that's a bad comparison to make, but there's still a lot of game to be played. A lot of things can turn around and become different.
Number 1 sets a return.
Alabama to start this second half with the ball and an opportunity to try and add to their lead as Lamar Fant going to bring this out to the 25-yard line. Mike, this Oregon defense, they haven't played poorly, but as you've mentioned, they've only come up with 1 of those turnovers that they've tried to force.
Honestly, right now, David, that's not even important. Not an elephant said he just took a shower and shaved. Don't mean to flex. Is that the first time?
I don't know what to make of this.
Is that the first time he shaved? I don't know. I don't understand that. Is that a flex? Is taking a shower? Is that something that a lot of people aren't doing these days?
Is shaving a flex? And the real question then becomes, was it like an actual razor or?
Getting a haircut from a barber would be a flex at this point in our history.
I'm getting that next week.
Okay. So are you going to flex when you get it? You can take pictures and post it in chat?
Well, I'll be on the podcast. I mean, I'm doing it the day of the podcast.
Okay. Fair enough.
Gotta look crisp for, championship pregame.
It was not an elephant's first time to shower. So, okay, well, congrats. We're glad you figured out that part of daily life.
Pass complete over the middle to Zach Strickland for a first down.
Don't worry. I had David completely. He was giggling and crying before the podcast. So, or before the game. So, anything's possible here.
It was bad. Siege taking a shot downfield, and what a catch! Zach Akamu Lee going to take it the distance. Touchdown, Alabama.
Well, I'm not sure if that was Zach Akamu Lee or we got a new player out there, but Akamu Lee, number 81, comes up with a great jump ball there and then just accelerates away from the defense as he beats Rex Tyler there, and then nobody can catch him. Great play there by Alabama, and much like in the first game, they've got this 3-score lead. Well, roughly 3-score lead. Could be 15 here with the PAT, but Oregon's really got to start figuring out their offense, or Alabama's got an opportunity to run away with this one.
15-point lead in the favor of the Alabama Crimson Tide, courtesy of Akamu Lee, and really credit to Bailey on Siege, who is responsible for all of Alabama's touchdowns. He's got 2 rushing and the 1 passing just now as Kai Brummer got into the open field and then got corralled. 33-yard return. But, Mike, as you said, this Oregon offense really as a whole, they need to find a spark.
Well, I think Jimmy Tickle is part of it. D. Frost, we saw with the big play early on. I think Tickle and Frost off play action, I think, is a great way to try to get back into this.
Richardson taking a shot himself, and he's got Bugsy Bates breaking a tackle. and nobody's going to catch him. Touchdown, Oregon.
Well, Oregon just said, stuff that in your pipe and smoke it. We got big plays, and they break out one there. First play of the series. And they get the one-play touchdown immediately right back into this, and that 2-score lead for Alabama now evaporates just the 1 score. Now they got a little bit of momentum. Can they stop Alabama on offense, though, and get the ball back and convert and try to pull within 1 point or even tie it up?
Alabama on their 6th drive, they had 3 plays and then the long touchdown pass. Oregon, it just took them 1 play with their 7th drive to come up with a long touchdown, and now it's, as you said, a 1-possession game, an 8-point game, and Alabama now maybe, have they lost any motivation, do you think, after that, or they still feel the same?
I think it's a little bit of a punch in the gut, but I feel like you're motivated to come out and make something happen.
Well, find Houston Freeman on the out route. He's going to fight all the way out to midfield, a gain of 24.
I feel like the only route that Big Country's been running in practice this week is the corner route, as that's the only thing they're finding him on. But it's not a bad route for him to run, and I think, an 8-10 catch game from him could be really big in solidifying this win.
He's also trying to establish himself as the pancake king from a running game standpoint, as Siege on the play action rollout dumps it underneath for Houston Freeman. Was that a tight end screen, Mike?
Well, what I really want to know is if he's the pancake king, does he have his wife or significant other on a leash and sitting on a plate like a thing of pancakes like Tiger King did?
Don't really know what to say to that.
I don't even know if David's watched the show, so he might not get that reference, but if you're a fan of Tiger King, you probably understand what I'm saying.
That makes it 3rd and 3.
We are approaching CFSL After Dark territory.
We
so.
really are.
And
There is one thing I don't understand is who allowed Tyson Kane Blade to raid the equipment locker?
Well, I mean,
That's
are you
what I
just
wanna know.
noticing this?
No, I just want to know who allowed it.
That guy in Nebraska uses more equipment than this guy.
That's true. Pistol set, 3rd and 3. Houston Freeman, the tight end, in motion for a 2-by-2 look. Siege to throw. Goes short right side and a first down for Barron Adams.
Well, Barron Adams is one of those guys I think they need to get more involved. He had almost just about half of any receptions as Houston Freeman. I think Barron Adams and Houston Freeman could be a terrifying combination on offense, and they haven't quite figured out how to use them in conjunction very well.
The pistol again. Siege, quick throw on the slant route, but this throw offline.
Well, that's not going to help you get more passes.
That makes it 2nd and 10.
Set, trips off the screen. Siege over the middle. And that pass is complete. Zach Strickland was able to hold on through the contact and get 5, so it sets up a very manageable 3rd down.
They got some options here. They're not so far out that they can't run the ball here, especially a read option. They got a lot of passing combos they could try.
They're going to go halfback screen for Farrell Norman, and it will not get the first down. He's lucky to get a yard.
Yeah, I don't know if going halfback screen to a guy that averaged 4.1 rushing and 2.5 on catches is the way to go right there.
Out comes Rooster Clutterbuck for a 47-yard field goal attempt that he delivers.
Merrill in the chat. What's up, Cole folks? Hope you and the baby are doing well. David apparently is supposed to be doing that since he is outside.
No, I feel like I missed something.
We've talked about him numerous times. He was in our Madden League, and he's been tuning in the last couple of weeks. And he's got a new baby.
Okay, that's who it is. It's been a long few days.
Apparently we need to go deeper with our pregame planning here.
Halfback screen.
Got to remind you of what's going on.
Jimmy Tickle down the sideline.
He got
In a foot race. Nobody's going to catch him. Touchdown, Oregon.
Well, we talked about it. They needed to get Jimmy Tickle going. I didn't know if it was going to be on the halfback screen, but why not? Again, he's one of the most explosive players on this offense. He accelerates down the sideline. Nobody's going to catch him. And a big play there for Oregon, staying within 1 score of this Alabama offense.
For 1:23 to play in the third, and it took, I guess, halftime, Mike, for this Oregon offense to wake up, and they've closed the gap to a 4-point game.
Well, everybody that took the over 69.5 at 5-1 odds in the sportsbook has woken up a little bit, and they're hoping for some more points.
Look at the two offenses, and first half fairly even more so though so far in the second half.
Yeah, it's, you know, this is a game more so than the first game. Both of these teams are making adjustments and playing. Florida State just looked a little flat in that first game. These guys are coming out and going for it.
Well, Siege was going for the long ball down the left seam, but unable to haul it in with Strickland, and it falls incomplete.
Yeah, the rain's not helping these guys hold on to the ball, but man, you got to convert when you get a shot like that.
Goodbye to look, draw play, Farrell Norman running right. Able to cut back inside before Kai Brummer walls him off.
Yeah, and they're still not using Farrell Norman quite enough. You remember early on in the season they were using him and they were looking pretty good. They kind of got away from it. And I would like to see him, especially with the lead here, try to work him in more, especially on option plays with Bailey on Siege.
3rd and 2, trips bottom of the screen, speed option, pitch. Farrell Norman can't get the first down.
I don't know if that's the kind of play I want to see Farrell Norman on a short 3rd down. Doesn't work out for him. Played very well by the Oregon defense. And now we'll see what the Oregon offense can do if they're able to take their first lead of the game.
So punt fielded at their own 20, able to get it back to the 29-yard line with Kai Brummer. And it feels like there's been a momentum shift in the favor of Oregon, Mike, but correct me if I'm wrong.
I mean, I think it could be a little bit, especially, we'll see what happens on this drive, but I feel like maybe a little, you're right.
They're done. Axton Richardson to throw. Going to take off and run. Fighting to get to the first down. He'll get 9 instead as Kane Blade and Addock are able to stop him.
Well, just a nice little run up the middle. And Jimmy Tickle, excuse me, Dong is his user name. He gets going. This is a tough offense to stop.
Mr. Full House, hand off to the walk-on, and Morris Todd will get the first down. Well spot at the 44-yard line. Axton Richardson to throw here. Quick throw over the middle, and it is incomplete in traffic.
Well, again, there was traffic there, but also the rain maybe coming into play. A drop pass there. You know, it's on 1st down. You can recover from it. The tough ones are when they're on 3rd down.
The gun and Axton Richardson, either because of the pressure or the coverage, throws it away for a long 3rd and 10.
Yeah, I think he just didn't like what he saw right from the snap and decided to throw it away. It's concerning, though, because the 3rd and 10, these aren't easy.
It's coming off the left edge. Richardson trying to take advantage of it. It'll find Frost down inside the 25.
Well, that was a great throw there. He puts just the right amount of air under it, threads it in between the two defenders. And Zachary Carter just a little bit early coming over there, not able to lay the hit, maybe trying to knock it free. Great catch there by Frost, and Oregon with a great opportunity here to take their first lead of the game.
Down to the Alabama 23-yard line. Richardson with trips to the bottom of the screen. He's going to run the read option keeper, and a stiff arm will help him get 5.
That brings him 2nd and 5.
So Oregon offense down inside the red zone. It's only their 2nd trip into this part of the field as Richardson under center in a single back set, one of the rare occasions tonight. And they go with a draw play for Tickle. He'll get 3 for a very manageable and a very short 3rd and 2.
Well, even started out outside, then comes back inside and still is too fast and runs up the backside of his offensive line. But a lot of options here on 3rd and 2.
Richardson to throw. Goes short into the flats on the right side, and the tight end Max King is going to lose some of that yardage that Tickle picked up on 3rd down.
Well, I get it. You're hoping that your tight end can just get a couple of yards, but against the look they were getting, I don't think that's necessarily the route you want to run to. Too much underneath coverage and too fast on that one. So they're going to force them into another field goal, and Oregon's still not going to come away with the lead.
Just in case on the field, this would be from 34 yards away and from the right hash. And Case delivers to make it a 1-point game.
Well, Oregon's offense has moved the ball down the field. But you got to give credit to the Alabama defense shutting them down once they cross into their territory. They've forced them into 4 field goal attempts tonight. And, they've really helped them out. They've preserved this lead they got. Now what Alabama's got to do offensively, they got to start doing something because they've kind of sputtered a little bit. They need to move the ball down the field and score.
Well, we've seen before. We saw this earlier tonight, Mike, in the first half. Oregon was able to make it a 1-point game, and then Alabama went on a 14-0 run to end the half. Siege loses a couple of yards there, but what would you say are the odds of Alabama being able to do that again in this half?
Well, about as good as Bailey on Siege running through that defensive tackle he just tried to take on head on there.
It didn't work out well for him as he loses a couple yards on the sack. Long 2nd and 12 here, ball spotted about the 27-yard line. Siege trying to set up the halfback screen for Farrell Norman. And he's going to get back to the line of scrimmage, but nothing more for him.
I don't love that play call because you end up losing some yards. You're in a long 3rd and 13. You're 8 of 12 on 3rd downs, but these aren't easy to convert, and you're deep in your own end. You're giving Oregon an opportunity to try to take this lead.
Siege to throw, steps up into the pocket, throws across his body, but incomplete.
The Oregon defense is doing everything they need to and really confusing and slowing down this Alabama offense. Problem is their offense hasn't been doing enough. How many times can you work your way into Alabama territory and only come away with a field goal attempt? You got to think eventually Alabama's probably going to get a stop.
Bremer doing some work on the punt return, doing pretty well to get it across midfield.
He tried to go to the right, but just couldn't get out there.
Max Richardson doesn't mind, though. He gets to take the field with really good field position here. Down inside the Alabama 45-yard line. Receiver motion for the triple option, but Jimmy Tickle gets the carry, and he'll get 8 yards with it on 1st down.
Well, I like it. They keep going to Tickle. Only 10 carries for 48 yards, but you got to account for the halfback screen that went to him. But you're also wearing down this defense a little bit, and you're showing them that you're not afraid to run, which can open up other things.
Let's see, Bates in motion again. They use him on a little trickery there to get it to him through the air for a gain of 4 and a 1st down.
Well, plays like that could do so much to make the defense hesitate a little bit. You know, they got to worry about the screen or the end around. They got to worry about the run up the middle. Then they got to worry about the pass. And then they come back and you hit them with a play like that.
Go triple option to Axton Richardson. He's forced to keep it and run. And he does well, picking up 14 yards and a 1st down. And that is how we end the 3rd quarter. Oregon still seeking their first lead of the night and an opportunity to advance to the semifinals. But will they pull it off? Stick around, find out. You're watching the CFSL on PX1 Sports. Start of the 4th quarter, Axton Richardson from the gun, going to motion for Max King, and they're going to give it to Tickle on the draw play, and Tyson Kane-Blade comes screaming downhill to stop him behind the line.
Hasn't been maybe as productive as you'd expect with only his 5th tackle of the game, but he's one of those guys that makes it hard to run and throw short passes over the middle, and he makes his presence felt on that one for the tackle for loss.
This offense now backed up to the Alabama 18. Triple option, Richardson, the pitch to Tickle. And either way, Mike, that looked like Oregon wasn't getting back to the line of scrimmage at all.
Well, the freshly showered Lamar Fant's the one that comes up and makes that tackle for a loss there. 3rd and 15, Alabama's defense doing a good job putting them in a long spot, but they're still going to have an opportunity at the field goal, it looks like.
They are knocked outside of the red zone here, thanks to that speed option on the previous play. Richardson trying to stand in and deliver, and he'll find Max King for the 1st down.
Yeah, King, what a great route. Corner route, once again, when in doubt, corner route, especially on 3rd and 15. And King runs it right to the line and able just to get the 1st down as he beats the walk-on corner, Matt Burgess.
Well, what an effort by Richardson to stand in, knowing he was going to get hit and deliver that pass for the 1st down. 1st and goal from the 7. Richardson with trips top the screen, a draw play for Tickle. Bounces off one, fighting with Mosley down to the 2.
They're trying to go to Tickle down inside the 10, and I like the idea. Just hand it off, run, power it in up the middle. Alabama's just doing a really good job at containing them, not giving him much to work with.
Jeremy Mosley playing well tonight. 7 tackles, 3 for a loss, and a sack as Jimmy Tickle gets his first rushing touchdown of the night.
And it's his 8th of the season, so he's right about 1 a game. And, despite not having the big numbers that we kind of expected, he's been efficient down here inside the red zone, and he gets them in there. Oregon first lead of the game. Now you got to wonder, is Alabama in shambles?
Oregon looking to go for 2, make it a 7-point game as Max King's a tight end motion. Richardson with a blitz into face. Thrown to the left side, and the pass is dropped. So both games tonight, we have seen a 2-point conversion fail.
Well, it's kind of like a $2 bill. They're hard to come by, David.
I actually stumbled across one of those today, by the way.
You mean you got out of the house?
No, I found a $2 bill in my house.
Like in the dryer vent or what?
No, I found it in my desk, actually.
Did you put it there?
I do. I believe I did at some point. I found it in a birthday card, and I don't remember it being there.
Wow, your family gives you $2 bills for birthday?
Yes.
I remember getting those when I was like 7.
Well, it was from my grandmother, so, there's a...
I hope your grandma, I just in case your grandma or your family's watching, I'm not going to say anything, because I'm not making jokes at them. I'm trying to poke at you, but I don't want to offend anybody. Not my intent.
Siege went over the middle on first down. It falls short. Comes back on second down, and Farrell Norman loses 3 yards thanks to Griffin Richardson.
Well, things kind of going backwards for Alabama, and they got a long situation here, and the way Oregon's rolling, even if it's field goals, they could definitely be in for adding on to this lead here as we see that one not come complete.
Siege throwing into double coverage on 3rd and long, and so Alabama having to turn to their special teams, forced to punt, and Oregon, an opportunity here, Mike, for them to chew up clock, get points, and put Alabama in a really desperate situation as Kai Brummer doing somersaults.
No. That was Rooster Clutterbuck, sir. Oh, well, yeah, Rooster. Oh, yeah, sorry. Kai Brummer was Rooster Clutterbuck. The kicker is the one that hit him.
I don't know what to make of that.
Make of it what you will. We might have to go. I got to go back and see if I can find a replay of that one. I'm pretty sure that was the kicker.
Lamar Fant is the one who comes down hill on the wide receiver screen. His 2nd tackle for loss, by the way.
I remember somebody asked for Pete Smith earlier, and I'm looking at him on my play sheet, and I'm thinking longingly of him. I'm picturing him running through the fields with doves flying.
Does he bring back fond memories for you?
He does. I mean, he was a one-hit wonder, kind of like a lot of singers in the 80s.
Somebody who has not been a one-hit wonder tonight has been D. Frost in this offense. He gets 17 yards, a first down, and Thomas Cole's a 5-hit wonder tonight.
I don't think that landed the way you hoped it would.
It didn't. You know what? I tried. I put the effort in.
Get an F for effort.
Works for me. Richardson looking for an A on this play into coverage, but he's going to complete it. Bugsy Bates down inside the 15.
Well, I know Neil is going to say in chat how much he loves his cornerbacks out there as Carey gets burned on that one, turns his head, and Bugsy Bates just stops. And the corner of the walk-on, not sure what happened. Bates coming up with the big play, and I think Juby's in shambles right now, David.
Seems to be that way in chat as it's down to the 12 here for Richardson and his offense. Bates in motion, draw play, Tickle right side, down inside the 10.
Well, and credit to them. They're going to Tickle. They're continuing trying to chew off some of this clock, wear it on this defense. He's a great option down here inside the 20. Now, if you don't get the first down here or the touchdown here, then, can you throw it in a short field?
Going to give it to Tickle, and the hopes that they won't be put in that situation is Jimmy Tickle gets 5. That sets up 3rd and 3 and makes the read option very viable in this spot.
Juby is obviously using his nighttime voice in chat.
He's also speaking in the third person.
That is a little concerning, right?
It's off-putting. Handoff, tickle up the middle. Did he get it? No, just short of the marker.
It's like Ricky Henderson and Bill Burr just merged and had a baby, and it's called Juby.
Oregon's going to go for it on 4th and inches. Ball spotted at about the 2. Handoff, tickle, touchdown Oregon.
Now, Oregon's got all the momentum now. You asked about it earlier. I think they were getting some, and they are really controlling this game right now. Alabama's offense hasn't been able to do a whole lot, and Oregon is continually moving the ball down the field. The last 2 drives, they got touchdowns. They were converting on field goals before that. Alabama's really got to turn things around because now they only got 4 minutes and 19 seconds, and they need 2 scores.
Down by 12, nearing the midway point of this one. And Mike, you were talking about Juby being in shambles. If he wasn't before, he is now.
Yeah, I'm not sure he knows which way is up. I'm still thinking he's trying to figure out how his safety is flexing from a shower and a shave.
Well, that safety was able to bring the kick to the 22-yard line. Siege, play action rollout to the right. And he's going to find Zach Strickland downfield for a first down.
Looks like Matt Pack just woke up from his evening siesta and joining us for the conclusion of this game, which all Alabama early on are definitely favored Alabama. And Oregon's really taking control in the second half and kind of taking it to the tide.
This will set, trips top the screen, bubble screen for Akamu Lee. He'll get 8 yards.
That makes it 2nd and 2.
Also, Bubba's karaoke and cruise videos. We can't just say Georgia fan or Brandon. We got to say that whole thing. He's talking about the over. The money put on Oregon -6.5 is looking okay right now, but could we get a bad beat here at the end? Does Alabama score and snatch defeat from the jaws of victory from the sportsbook bettors?
You kind of confused me by rephrasing the jaws of defeat one. Siege out of the flats, and Tyson Kane-Blade, who doubles as a fullback and tight end, gets 2. 4th and 1 in the ball game very much.
I think David's in shambles, everybody.
A little bit. Siege to throw. Left flats here, and he will convert through the wide open Zach Strickland.
I don't know if Oregon's aware, but that little orange line is the first down marker. I don't think you have to play 10 yards off of it.
Pistol set. Siege with a blitz in his face, going to take off and run. He's got the first down and more, down to about the 25.
Well, everybody in the sports books definitely getting a little nervous now because a touchdown makes them lose unless Oregon were to rebound and score as well.
Siege to throw, floats out left side. There's Houston Freeman, gain of 6. Down inside 3 minutes of play.
Well, I said 8 to 12 catches for Houston Freeman, whereas the spot was going to really help him. He's at 9 right now. Of course, they're still down by 2 scores, though, but they're getting him involved.
High formation handoff. Farrell Norman finds a crease and a first down.
Well, if they can get it in the end zone here, the really interesting thing is going to be if they don't use any timeouts, will they kick it deep?
Siege to throw, blitz coming, and he has to throw it through the back of the end zone. And so that will help their efforts in preserving the clock.
Well, it was a good pass rather than a rush, and it was also good coverage on the backside, so he really had no other option than to throw that one away.
2 tight ends on the field, and receiver in motion for the triple option. Siege has to keep it. Late pitch. Akamu Lee will score.
That was a great design play. Oregon wasn't really ready for it. Akamu Lee was basically wide open on the pitch out there. Gets it for his 2nd touchdown. And so not only does Alabama pull within 1 score and preserve an opportunity to win this game, but it also puckered up the backsides of all the sportsbook bettors who took Oregon -6.5.
The good news is 2:28 to play, but if I'm Oregon, I just feed Jimmy Tickle and, run with Axel Richardson and say, let's kill clock.
Well, you would think that, but Alabama has done a pretty good job of limiting Tickle to big gains, and there is a very good chance that if you run it, you go 3 and out and you give him the ball back.
Kai Brummer got hit hard enough to send him backwards by about 5 yards.
Well, Alabama's going to be hitting here. They want to try to knock the ball loose. They might even try to go for a strip, especially if it's in traffic. Ideally, though, they just get a 3 and out. They punt it. They retain 2 of their timeouts. They probably have to use all 3 of them. We'll see how it happens. But ideally, you want to get the ball back with about a minute and a half left, allow you to move down the field, get that touchdown, and win the game.
2:24 to play. Both teams have all 3 timeouts remaining. Ball spotted at about the 27, and Oregon will begin with a pistol full house and a run for Jimmy Tickle. But Mike, as you said, as this Alabama defense has done well tonight, they bottle him up at the line.
Well, they do, and Zachary Carter having a nice game, getting in there for his 10th tackle. They only allowed him 1 yard, and that's really how you want to start if you want to try to get somebody to go 3 and out.
Alabama takes their first time out of the night, and a counter run here for Tickle. He's going to get back to the line of scrimmage, nothing more. Addock and Mosley stop him, another timeout call.
Yeah, great pursuit there by Mosley to get the tackle. It's 3rd and 9, big play here for Oregon.
Richardson to throw over the middle, and a drop pass there. Wilbur King Jr. cannot haul it in, and it is exactly what the doctor ordered for Alabama.
Well, it was actually Max King, the tight end, that dropped that perfectly designed play. Axel Richardson hit him, just wasn't able to bring it in. Now Alabama was still a timeout, got 2 minutes to go.
Marfan trying to help out Bailey on siege. He'll get it back to his own 45-yard line. Alabama trailing by 5 as Oregon has taken control of this second half.
Well, we got an interesting dynamic here. Not only is Oregon this -6.5, which had 41,000 wagered on it, looking to lose the over of 69.5, which had 24 wagered on it. Could go over if Alabama is able to score and win the game. If they don't, both of those games lose, and the sportsbook celebrates, taking everybody's virtual money.
2 yards for Farrell Norman to open up the drive. 1 timeout remains for the Crimson Tide. Empty backfield. Siege going short to the left side. There's Strickland fighting for the first down. He'll get 7, but clock continues to run. Couldn't get out of bounds.
Well, I think that's okay. I think they got enough time here that you can live with that right now. What you don't really want to do is take a negative play or a no game play and let a lot of time run off the clock. You're 3rd and 2. You get a first down here. It stops the clock while they reset. I think you're in an okay spot.
The Oregon 47. I formation. Houston Freeman, the tight end, in motion from left to right. Play fake. Siege. Throw into the corner. There's Houston Freeman on the crossing pattern, getting 21.
Well, and again, I told you, if he gets involved, they got a shot. It didn't look like they really did when they were down 2 scores, but now look at him down there helping to move down the field in these fancy new uniforms that they got on. Alabama's threatening here. That's going to be last play of the game. I feel it.
Freeman 10 catches, over 100 yards receiving. That last play, a gain of 21. Out to the Oregon 26. Pistol set, trips bomb of the screen. Siege dancing in the pocket, checks it down. There's Norman on the outside. He'll lose 3 on the swing pass.
Well, he got out of bounds. So if you're going to lose yards, it's never a good thing. You don't want to also run down the clock when you're losing yards. So at least he got out of bounds.
2nd and 13. Alabama emptying out the backfield, still trying to hold on to that last timeout. Siege threads a needle. That pass incomplete. 3rd and 13.
Well, first off, I don't know why you throw in that kind of traffic, but I thought it went through one hands, and then the other guy got it, and I thought he caught it, but he didn't. Now it's 3rd and 13. Big play here for Bama.
Siege with a blitz in his face, taking a shot. End zone, batted away.
Wow, there is so much anxiety going. Not only are Oregon and Alabama anxious here, the sportsbook bettors are anxious. Nobody could win in the sportsbook. This is crazy right now.
4th and 13 in the ball game. Siege up the seam, caught by Strickland.
Hey, why not? Run seam route up the middle, take a shot, throws it in there. Great catch. Under a minute to go, 1 timeout. Alabama's got a shot.
Trip stop the screen. Oregon has 3 timeouts remaining. Siege going to take off and run.
down to the 1-yard line where he is stopped.
Well, they're not taking their timeout, which I think is a good thing here. You don't want to give too much time to Oregon. They're going to clock it here, which is interesting. Don't know if I love that, but you also don't want to run out of time.
So 3rd and goal from the 1. 4-down territory for the Alabama offense. Single back set. Siege, 3-step drop, trying to run through, and he will. Touchdown, Alabama.
Alabama does it. They get into the end zone. They regain the lead. After losing it to Oregon, they also go over the 5-1 line on the 69.5 of the sportsbook. So half of the chat is excited because they're Bama fans. The other half are degenerate gamblers.
Alabama keeping their offense on the field, looking to go for 2, make it a 3-point game. Siege going to take off and run. He will get the 2-point conversion, and Oregon, a field goal, ties it, sends it to overtime, a touchdown, wins it.
Well, Bailey on Siege putting everything on his back that drive, gets him into the end zone, gets the touchdown, gets the 2-point conversion, gets the 3-point lead. Oregon, though, has 3 timeouts. They only need 3 to send it to OT.
Well, they have had some really big plays from this offense. Can they find another with 30 seconds remaining and 3 timeouts?
Well, you look at that. Defrost, 4 catches for 86 yards, but targeted 5 times, only missed him once. He's probably a key receiver along with Bugsy Bates on this drive if they want to win it or even tie it up.
Richardson in the gun to start. Standing in, and he will throw it away into the Alabama sideline on 1st down.
Yeah, I don't think he was trying to hit his receiver underneath. I think he didn't like the coverage. It was too good by Alabama. He throws it away. 26 seconds. Second out's 4-down territory.
Empty backfield. Richardson. And a takeoff and run to the right side. Gets to the 20. It's a loss of 4, and Oregon takes a timeout.
Yeah, you don't want to lose yards. You don't want to have to use a timeout on a negative play like that. Not a good start to this drive for Oregon.
Richardson in the gun. Halfback screen, right side. Here's Tickle. Fighting with Tyson Kane-Blade. He'll get very minimal gain and a second timeout call.
Well, I don't love that because not only do you not get the first, you get a long 4th down. You only got 1 timeout left. This is going to be tough for Oregon.
It's the game. Richardson wants it all. Pass caught. Defrost down inside the 30.
Well, I said Defrost was going to be one of the guys. If they were able to do something, they got down there right on the edge of field goal range. They got 1 timeout. You can't screw this up.
Gunn. Richardson goes short here, and a 1st down for Defrost.
Oh, boy.
Oregon going no huddle. 8 seconds remain. Clock begins to run down to 5. Last play. Richardson goes short. Max King is stopped, and Alabama will advance to the semifinals.
They took too much time there. Axel Richardson lost track of the clock. Didn't get the playoff. Should have just called the timeout, kicked the field goal. And Oregon loses a heartbreaker at the end of the game. And what a way, David, to kick off the playoffs here at the CFSL.
It couldn't have gone any better. And so now our semifinal matchup coming up on Thursday night. We'll have 2 great games. Notre Dame and Auburn already made it there in Alabama and USC. They are the 2 teams that will move on, and they will have the opportunity to play them. But a great game here from the Music City in the Music City Bowl. Oregon 36-39. We will be back on Friday night right here on YouTube Live for the semifinals. For Mike, I'm David. We'll see you then.